Aye, she could regularly be found in the old Ten Bells pub looking for customers, sir. Either that or drinking herself senseless with the money she'd made that night.
Tell me, did Annie Chapman ever drink here?
Aye, officer. Came here most nights, touting for business mainly, her and her female friends, Nichols, Eddowes and Kelly.
Nichols? You mean Mary Ann Nichols? She was friends with Chapman.
Oh, yes, sir. Polly. That's what Nichols was called around here. She and old Annie Chapman were thick as thieves. Old friends they were. Terrible what happened to them. Papers are saying it was Leather Apron, some bloke called Pizer. Is that right, officer?
Can't comment on an ongoing investigation. Do you mind if I look around a while?
Not at all. Go ahead.
I have a letter to Mary Kelly from someone named Walter. Do you know who that might be?
Sure, he is a local artist, Walter Sickert. Often painted some of the girls he did. Used to come in a lot with his gentleman friend.
Gentleman friend?
Yeah, proper posh gent he was. We used to call him Bertie. Never knew his full name. Had a fancy for a young friend of Kelly's, Annie Crook I believe her name was. Went on to wed her in the church over the road, so I hear. Come to think of it, haven't seen him or her round here for weeks.
Someone named Annie Crook was married here. And there's that name again, Walter Sickert, the best man. Sickert's address. It's just along the street from the 10 Bells. Guess I'd better check him out. So, this is Sickert's place. Looks like no one's at home. Makes it even easier for me to snoop around his studio a little. Seems there may be more than I thought to this Annie Crook story. QV. QV. I wonder who or what this refers to. It's all sounding very sinister. There is definitely something not right here. Blackmail? Just what was going on here? Just what was Sickett involved in?
Excuse me, who are you and what are you doing breaking into my art studio?
Inspector Aberline of Scotland Yard. I'm investigating the recent Whitechapel murders. Perhaps I could ask you what your relationship with Annie Chapman and Mary Kelly was.
Oh, mere acquaintances of mine from drinking in the 10 Bells. And sometimes they would pose for paintings for me to earn them a few extra pennies. But nothing wrong with that, is there?
I think you know more about these women and their murders than you're telling me. For example, how do you explain this detailed entry in your diary? And the letters from Miss Kelly?
Oh, that whole thing was an unfortunate mess. A dear friend of mine was indeed wed to young Annie Crook, but I fear poor Annie was not of sound mind. The marriage fell apart, and I believe she was taken to a mental home. I fear it was all too much for poor Mary, and she's been inventing crazy stories about the whole affair ever since.
There is definitely something fishy with our Mr. Sickett. I don't know how, or if he's linked with these murders, but something very odd is going on between him and that Mary Kelly. Guess I'd better put together the case notes for Annie Chapman.